Hello, welcome to the Chesapeake Today Show. It's your Executive Director, David Loop.
And Candace Montgomery, Director of Life Enrichment.
Candace, boy, last week I couldn't help it during Town Hall. I just had this flash of, wow, what an October so far.
Yes.
And things that were happening. And then I started stumbling on my own words when, like, wait, this was food. And wait, this was food. This
I
was
know.
food. We had a lot.
Do you know, that brings people.
It does. I haven't stepped on a scale lately.
Me neither.
I don't think we
like
want
do
to.
that.
No.
Once a month.
Plus this week a little bit of candy.
Oh my
And
gosh.
you having a youngster with candy,
It
I would be
makes it-
tempted.
Yeah. You know, like you got to make sure that they're edible.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
you
Quality
gotta
control.
Weed through it.
That's
and
right.
Make sure it's safe.
and you know what, Marcus to overdo his sugar, so
right.
you've got to.
balance it out.
Yeah.
You know, the
So
dogs might sneak
do
the candy.
they
or
get
two.
some? I was
oh my
curious
gosh.
about that.
With Clint's not eating it fast enough, they're just gonna.
They're there.
yeah.
What
they're waiting.
fun. So yeah, Town Hall last week, and it was great. Jim Lewis kicked off the
That was nice.
appreciation fund for
Yeah.
team members, and again, it's just I respect his grace, his dignity in introducing it. Yeah, even at a meeting when I'm presenting a rate increase
I
communication,
know.
and the residents think so much of all of our team members that they're there. How are we going to make this a special year? How can we have this Christmas fund be meaningful for our team? And just very much appreciate it.
It was a nice message. I
yeah.
enjoyed that. It was
Very-
great. He did a good job.
So it's good.
Yeah.
I haven't been on air with you and missed, because Vera and I were celebrating our anniversary, so I didn't
Yes,
get for the car show. But you had another successful one.
We did. So we had about 21, 22 car shows. And it was interesting. We've had this one gentleman that's come every time, and this was his year. So it was the 1937 Ford Flatback.
So he's had different vehicle each time then.
Yes, he has.
Okay.
And he's friends or neighbors with Pat Green, who lives here. So he's here visibly a lot. But he was really excited. I think he was just happy that he's participating each time, and this was his year. So we had a lot of Model A's and kind of some different cars this time. So it was interesting.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, just a lot of fun events, and I think you know, so fortunate with all and any of the outdoor activities planned. The weather's just incredible.
Oh my gosh, it's been back and forth, it seems like. We think we're getting that taste of fall, and then summer comes right back around. So it's been an enjoyable October.
Yeah,
for
it
sure.
has been. So we're winding down. You know, we've said farewell to our 5th anniversary on the Lobster Fest. You know, even go back to the 55th that you all pulled off was wonderful. So I just think about what a string of events.
Oh my gosh.
And you think the other programs within, and you know, now we got a busy week ahead of us.
Always. I feel like now once that Lobster Fest comes, it's just a fast track to Christmas at the Chesapeake.
So, this being Halloween week, I was listening last week attentively because you and a couple of our other teammates were talking about their experiences up at Busch Garden, and I want one. I told Vera, I said, Vera,
Are you gonna
ever
go?
want to, if you want to give me a present, something, just give me an annual pass.
Yes.
And just for the sake of it, give me 2.
Christmas
I'll take you with
Town,
it.
how you haven't been to that would just be your whole world if you were there for Christmas Town.
Our first year here, we won or were given pass.
yeah.
So we went once or twice in 2017.
Okay.
And since then, I've always said, like, I'd like to go back. I mean, and Vera, she just associates one thing with Busch Gardens, roller coasters. And I'm like, you don't have to ride them. I don't like roller coasters. And what I ruined it. Years ago, when we first were dating, I took her to an amusement park in Ohio, and she'd never been on roller coasters. And my first time, I took her on the biggest, meanest
What
one.
in the world?
I ruined it. I thought it was pretty funny
this
just
is
to
gonna
hear her
break her and
scream.
she's
Whatever.
gonna love
Yeah,
them all.
she'll love them all.
Now she hates them
and
all.
I soured her on them. So it's like, oh, dang, got it.
I know.
And Ohio, Cedar Point, phenomenal. Kings Island, another one.
Now, what you can do, because this is how I ease myself. I didn't used to like roller coasters, so you can tell this to Vera. In their little kiddie land, their Sesame Street land, they have a Grover roller coaster, and that can ease her back into roller coasters.
I can put her on it.
Yes, I get on it still. Marcus
Okay.
gets on it, so she can definitely get on it. And
So-
it gives you that little bit of just thrill, but it's short.
So as you're,
I can see the two of you guys.
I can do it. Well, here's what when you said that.
You go.
You know
We'll
what
go
I'm
with
seeing
you. We'll put
I'm
Clint
seeing
with you.
Candace, the little girl, with
Yeah.
her little Halloween hat on.
Oh,
from last week.
100%. Yes.
I can see you. I'm on the coaster.
Yes. And I love roller coasters now.
Yeah.
And I eased myself into that. Because it used to be we would go, and I would go with my friends. This was like high school. And I would be the one holding everybody's bags while they were on the rides because I was scared to go. And I was like, I'm tired of being the bag holder. I'm going to go.
So you figured out passing.
Yes.
All right. Well, I need to do that with Vera, but more importantly, just so many other things. The
Oh my
beauty
gosh.
of Busch Gardens, walking around. You know, you never would guess it has such the topography.
Oh my
the
gosh.
bridges, the everything. And
The
it's gorgeous.
train.
Yeah.
They do a lot of things now that are like wine and food tastings with different themes. So it's really a lot more than just the amusement roller
Yeah.
coaster aspect
Yeah.
of it. I think y'all would enjoy
Yeah,
it. And
yeah.
walking, you get your steps in.
Yeah, and that's
Oh my gosh.
need those all
Yes,
day.
yes,
So,
yes.
so that's that. But more importantly, then we got Halloween, and we've been asking people, and I guess you're young, and what's Clint going to do? What's his costume?
Darth Vader is what he's decided. He has that. He has a police officer and a firefighter. But I think Darth Vader is going to be the winner.
So does he like Star Wars? Does he watch them?
does.
And how about that Volkswagen commercial? Isn't that the one that did the young boy who did Darth
I
Vader?
do know what you're.
Remember?
That is.
That was
yes.
a
Oh
great
my
one.
goodness, I forgot about that.
And I recall the
Yeah.
car was talking to her and where the voice came
Something
from.
like that. Yeah.
And it's like he was turning around real quick. So just sort of
know.
when I thought about you, Clint, Darth Vader, that's him. He's just going
He
to have
likes
fun.
the bad guys in these shows for some reason, but
Yeah.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So he's looking forward to it.
And are you going to dress up?
Yeah, so I was Princess Peach from Mario, Super Mario. You know, I would love for us to be a family where we all dress up as a theme, but that's just not.
Not going to
who we
happen.
are.
Yeah. And that's okay. Sometimes you
I
expect
know.
that. So it's Monday evening or which evening?
Tuesday evening,
okay?
yes. So Tuesday we'll be in the Chesapeake room from 6:30 to 8. So residents have signed up. We have about almost 20 residents who have reserved tables. They're bringing the candy. We've told them this year, because some of them did it last year, you can decorate your table. Might be doing some prizes for best decorated table. Residents can dress up, and then team members are encouraged to bring their kids, grandkids, just going around the tables trick-or-treating. We'll have the popcorn machine going, some games going. Just a good time. We're looking
Fun.
forward to it.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, this will be an annual,
I
second
think it's an
annual.
annual now. Residents were asking for it
Yeah.
very early in the year, wanting to make sure we were going to do it again. So I think it fills that void. You know, a lot of folks, they really enjoyed having the trick-or-treaters come to their door. So this is a good compromise.
Well, I've always been a champion. I appreciate you and others forging ways for those traditions to be born.
Exactly.
And boy, I don't even think I'd probably be I'd miss it if I try to name the traditions we've already now set.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
there's some things now that when we start thinking of our calendar, you
There's
know,
a lot.
particularly around the holidays, it's like, ooh, yeah, it's another one. Got to
We
remember to
have
do that
a lot
one.
of traditions here, I would
Yeah,
say, more
which
so
is-
than a lot of other communities. We
Yeah.
have a lot of traditions.
Which I believe residents appreciate it.
Oh, they do,
I
for
think
sure.
that's sort of just things that you reminisce, look forward to, and we always have the challenge of equalizing or surpassing.
Sure. Oh, always.
Good.
Yes.
So
most
that would be
definitely.
wonderful. So that's Tuesday evening.
That's Tuesday, but Monday, so I don't know if you know this, but the Statue of Liberty's birthday is this month. So we're having a documentary on Monday at 2 p.m. in the Explorer Room, really giving the history of Statue of Liberty. So that should be interesting. Hand chimes practice, this will be their last practice for this year. They are taking a little break till 2025. They're looking for a leader, and they're looking for at least 2 folks who want to participate in the chimes.
Well, I know Barbara Howe's been so devoted
She
to this,
has
and she had shared with resident council how they take this little hiatus. And you know, I think what we have to get the word out to other residents and new residents, it is a wonderful way to express your your music interest, be a part of a chimes group. You know, and yes, reading notes to some level, but it's still just following the beats and the direction, and you're controlling a certain notes yourself. So just get the word out. Let's keep the chimes going, and I think that'd be a great thing to see.
And we're going to also, so Barbara and Hal and I have been working on this for quite some time of not wanting to have it go on a hiatus, but the high school that I went to, we had chimes, and so I've been trying to reach out to some of my contacts, but also the chimes group that comes here, we're going to reach out to them as well and see if there's anybody who'd like to lead that group and see if we can keep it going.
Excellent.
But I think taking a break with the holidays is probably most appropriate. And
Okay.
hope we can see that come back around. And then Alice Boring will have her Reading and Reminiscing Club at 1:30 on Tuesday in the Chesapeake Room. Thursday, we have our German Basic and Intermediate class at 3 p.m. in the Explorer Room. And then that evening, we have a movie, The High and Mighty from 1954. Not sure I know of that one. The title sounds
Even
a
before
little
my time.
familiar, but I can't
yeah.
place what that's about.
Yeah.
And that kind of rounds out the week. Of course, we have Halloween on Thursday, so I'm sure we'll see some maybe team members and residents dressed up
Yeah.
that day around campus. It's
Yeah.
always fun. But yeah, it's definitely we're right into
So
November.
at your home, do you get a number of trick-or-treaters?
We do. We have, so we're right off of work and we live in a busy neighborhood. So we like to set up a little fire pit at the end of our drive so we can tag team of who's going trick-or-treating and who's passing out candy. It's sweet this year. We just realized one of the little girls in Clint's class is our neighbor. We just made this connection at the Chick-fil-A back to school night. And so they've decided they're going to trick-or-treat together this year.
Okay.
And so they're real excited about that.
Good.
Because normally she ends up going by herself because they typically do something with their cousins. So I was like, oh, y'all could go together. So they're excited.
So I was sharing with Vera that we got to be sure and get, I'm always like, go ahead, get big bars, get big candy bars.
Oh,
Come on.
yeah. Well, Costco has both.
Yeah.
I've seen they have both of them.
And I will probably have to do my own little quick visit because I sort of do that. And then she'll accuse me of overbuying.
Well,
Maybe.
Does
And
your
then she-
neighborhood get a good amount?
I would say yes.
I would think so.
And I think that in Cone Creek, I think because of the safety element, whatever, I see a lot of other parents bring in kids.
Okay.
And that's fine.
That's always
Just welcome
interesting
them.
to see, yeah.
And it's
Okay.
just, it's just special to see them all.
That's
So,
fun.
100
That's good.
is probably the number I see.
You guys dress up?
I've had a mask before. I've done a few things. Yeah, it's sort of fun. But then again,
Yeah.
of course, I don't want to scare her
Right.
because I think some of the younger ones are the ones
That's
you really want to
true.
just bring them up. And
Yeah.
But it's fun. Yeah.
It's
I always
always-
remember the few homes when I would take my kids trick-or-treating,
Yeah.
whatever, where, they'd have the coffin out.
Oh, the real
or
scary
or
stuff.
music and or someone buried in the leaves ready to jump
Ooh.
up and scare. I had some real neighbors.
Some
It was something.
It's always funny to me too, like just from experience of being a parent with young kids. It's always funny when you're like, go up to the door, and it ends up being you of like, trick or treat, when the kids don't want to go up to the door, and it's more the parents carrying the bucket up there.
Yeah.
It's just funny to see them transition. Like
Yeah.
Clint's now okay, but over the years it's been I'm scared to go up there.
Yeah.
Even if it's a friendly looking house.
I think we had a conversation recently with some of our coworkers about some of those Halloween traditions.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, one person brought up corn balls. So
Oh,
it's
the
a
popcorn balls.
popcorn
That
balls.
was JD, yes.
So popcorn
People make
balls.
those anymore.
And and again, I was, what sticks them together? Is it a sugary?
I think it was like marshmallows or some sort of fluff, I want to say. There was different ones. I think there was like a peanut butter, a caramel. But yeah, they were like
So
these.
popcorn balls, and I remember my mom, my sister, maybe even put in some food coloring in the stuff, and then had the popcorn. So it went from white
Okay.
popcorn to like orange.
Something festive.
Yeah. So popcorn ball, and then we talked about bobbing for apples and who had ever done that in a party or not.
Yeah.
And that goes way back. I think I remember maybe once, and I want to say it was like a junior church Halloween party.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I just had a fond memory. It was one of the costumes that I don't know how he pulled it off, but I had a relatives that were in medical practice, and we got enough gauze rolls, and I was a true mummy.
Really?
And it was Mrs. Henderson's junior church, which would have been 6 grades from kindergarten through 6th grade, and every year she had a costume
Oh my god.
competition. I won it that year.
Wow.
And I won a silver dollar.
Oh wow.
I've kept that silver dollar.
Oh my goodness.
She didn't realize this, but it was a 1922 peace dollar.
Oh my gosh.
That is a little valuable.
Yeah.
So I not only have my memories of being the mummy
Yeah.
and walking around, probably and I got that silver dollar. So that's one of my fondest memories of a childhood costume.
Childhood costume.
Mummy. What do you have of a
You
costume?
got me thinking. I feel like one year, I can remember this picture vividly. Not that I remember it as much, but my mom always went all out. She always really dressed up to the nines, and I did as well. And one year I was Princess Jasmine, and I had the actual like tiger and everything. It was like a pretty tall tiger that we
Yeah.
had gotten to go with my costume, and my hair, I'd had like a wig on and it was braided, and I think that one stands out because it was that stuffed animal that was like special.
So-
It wasn't like a typical one you could just find in the store.
So anywhere in your past, Dolly or Barbie?
I'm sure. I know. I mean, I've had Barbie birthdays, but Halloween, I'd have to look back.
Yeah.
My mom definitely has a lot of photo albums, so I could probably go
Yeah.
back and look at every year and see. That would be fun for us to do, of like leadership or like at a huddle.
If we
Everyone
could
bring
ever
in
find
bring in a
Halloween
picture.
costume, oh my gosh. I got
Yeah.
another one I can remember. And then a couple as adults. Yeah. Ooh, I will not bring and talk about anything I did in college.
We need
That's-
those pictures.
That one's
We need
definitely
those
off
pictures.
limits. But what fun. Well, you know, and again, there's some people that, I mean, I've heard adults profess Halloween is my favorite holiday.
It's one of my favorites, I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably number 2. I would say I love Halloween. And we really got into it with Clint. I mean, we weren't really big into, I don't know if you've seen like Nightmare Before Christmas and kind of some of the little darker things, and he got into it. And so now we're like, our house is like, looks like Halloween threw up in there right now. It's
So
everywhere.
here's the important question, or a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have more storage totes of Halloween decorations or Christmas?
They're about equal right now.
That's a good measure. You know, that's
They're
probably a
about
pretty
equal.
good measure.
They're about equal, yeah.
Yeah, with Vera and I, she didn't even ask me to bring it down because we've
What?
got a Halloween tote. I don't know why. And she used to love to hang this one spider. She'd
Oh,
just get me.
man.
She'd get the spider and
likes to
start
get-
dangling it. And, yeah, I don't know why.
Wow.
Huh. Well, sounds like a busy week. So good things to look forward to. We'll turn the month, and I guess next weekend turn the
The
clock.
clocks, I know. That always takes some adjusting.
Yeah, I mean, it just last week, sitting out back, beautiful evening,
know.
and saying, okay, what time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 7 o'clock. Look how dark.
Oh,
And just
I
that
know.
change. And then when you talk to people, and like my son Nathan, he's at the far west part of the Eastern time zone.
Oh,
So if I chat with him in the evening, say, Nate, what's your light? Oh, sunlight. we're good."
interesting.
Because it's just enough that
Yeah,
you
I
think
hadn't
about
thought
how many
about that.
miles are between.
okay.
And so if you live in a different part of the country, like I have, I've lived right on that border, and then I've lived in the central time district and all the way out to Hawaii. And it's fascinating where you are in a time district, how your days change.
Interesting.
And we just have brighter, earlier mornings here. And still nice evenings, but not as long
Not
as
as
like
long.
Nathan's area.
Yeah.
So
I'll be looking forward to those brighter mornings because
yeah. So if you could make the decision, would you have daylight savings time?
probably not. I have a hard time adjusting to it. It takes me a week or so. So I would say
And
do
which
away with
would
it.
you keep, the summer position of the clock or the winter position?
Summer.
Me too. I just would rather. I know there's people who get up in the morning and it's just dark, but it's going to be dark anyways.
Right,
What's the
exactly.
difference? And then in the evening time, gee, I mean, don't even think about leaving after 4 o'clock
Oh
because
no,
it's dark.
It's dark.
Yeah.
And then that just makes me sleepy and I don't feel like doing anything else for the rest of the
Yeah,
evening.
yeah.
I go, well, it's time for me to go to bed.
Well, we're here to get back on to this. We're going to give you energy, and yes, there's going to be an okay time. Isaiah, wake up. We're okay. We are here. But yeah, we'll correct our clocks, and with this, is it the next day of the service of remembrance? Is that
It's the day of.
so? We are really going to be challenged, whoever's the manager on duty that morning, to get all the clocks
All the
changed so we don't
clocks.
look silly with a lot of guests in the house. All right. Well, we'll have to figure out who
It's
the
a
MOD is
task.
and put them on that alert.
That'll be a chore all day.
Well, next week it'll be wonderful. This week be wonderful with all the Halloween, and it'll be fun. So good news there, and then we'll soon be into November and a lot of wonderful things.
Yes, most definitely. And I'll put one little plug out there because we're redoing the veteran boards this year.
Good.
And so I've been deep diving into resident histories of who we haven't recognized on our boards. And it's about 20 individuals.
Okay.
A lot of them, when I've reached out to them, have said, oh, I don't have any pictures. And I'm like, well, you have until Tuesday to contact your kids. Have them send a picture, whatever. We just need a picture. Just to make sure that we're really capturing everyone. And what I found is there's a lot of women who have had some time in the military. And we need to all make sure we're honoring everyone.
Yes.
That's been fascinating,
Good.
especially for that time. So yes, if you have not submitted your picture to me, please do so. Just need your name, years of service, and then what branch.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very memorable part of November,
For sure.
having that veterans program here and just honoring. And I very much enjoyed looking at those boards. So appreciate their
Of course.
just being updated. So that's wonderful.
Yes.
All right. Well, today we've got a delightful interview with J.D. Duggan, and you're going to want to learn more about him. He's a wonderful addition to our management team. So stay tuned for that interview. But until next time.
See ya.
Welcome back to the Chesapeake Today Show and our special interview of the week. My pleasure, if you've not met him already, is to introduce J.D. Duggan. J.D., welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it, David.
Well, if you don't know or if you haven't met J.D., he's joined our team as Environmental Services Manager and is just bringing a phenomenal career, both in military, both in also all that he's done in his work life, and just anxious to let him share more about his background. But J.D., welcome to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, sir.
So I know you've been with us for, it's been
About a month.
a
A
month,
little
so
over a
time
month.
flies.
It does.
But, just to start out, where are you originally from, J.D.? Where's your roots and a little bit about your upbringing?
Okay, so I'm originally from West Virginia, born in West Virginia, and then I moved to London, England when I was about a year old and spent probably the first 12 years of my life in England. I went to boarding school there. And then I moved back to West Virginia with my parents, and so that was a little bit of a culture shock, moving from London to West
So
Virginia.
how did that accent work? Did you have it pretty much, and you hear you're heading
I
into
did.
a very
I did.
heavily accented U.S.
I
area?
did. I had a heavy British accent when I came back to the United States. And then West Virginia has a thick accent, like you said, so I think somewhere in those formidable years, my accent kind of switched, and sometimes the British comes out, but it's rare.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So time then in West Virginia, and did you graduate high school in West Virginia?
I did. I graduated high school from Greenbrier West High School in Charmco, West Virginia, and I joined the Army 3 weeks after graduating in 1989.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for your service, and tell us about that Army career. How long were you in the Army, and any movement, any international service?
Sure. So I was in the Army for 23 years. Like I said, started in 1989. I retired in 2012. I started out as an ammunition and weapons specialist, and so I deployed with the 101st Airborne with the 75th Ranger Regiment. And then later on in my career, I decided to become a watercraft operator, and so I spent the last 12 years of my career on Fort Eustis as a watercraft operator.
Well, I can only imagine. When you say that, I'm seeing a James Bond movie, and I'm seeing these hydrofoils or hovercrafts or whatever, and just, wow, that must have been very fascinating equipment.
We did. We had some fast boats that were very fun to drive, and then later on, I also got to work on tugboats, which is a lot of hard work, but it was actually very fun. I got to do a lot of international travel. I was on the crew of the only crew that has taken a 128-foot tugboat across the Atlantic Ocean. We sailed from here to Hythe, England, with many stops in between. It was the only time it was ever done, and so we're pretty proud of that. It was a good time.
Very nice. Well, as you perhaps already realize, a lot of our residents are veterans, and they would just love conversation with you, hearing about your background, sharing it. So it's just such a natural to happen here. So your time with the Army, thank you for that. Then after the Army, what was the steps in your career, and what leads you to us today?
Okay, so after the Army, I joined the Department of Veterans Affairs. So I joined their housekeeping team, and I was a housekeeper for 3 years. And then I started my career path where I was promoted to work lead, and I got to do that for a year. And then I was a supervisor, and I really enjoyed that, getting to work with teams and build teams. And then after that, my career took a little turn. I was the general foreman of the entire crew there. And after 3 years, I became the assistant chief. And so I was the assistant director of the service, and I ran laundry, grounds, transportation, housekeeping, and pest control. And so my mentor, when he retired, I was fortunate enough to be promoted into the position of director at the Veterans Affairs, and I was there for 3 years and retired in 2022.
Very nice. Well, I know you have not only just this incredible experience that you're bringing to us, and we're very grateful for that, because as JD really focused on a lot of our higher levels of care, but you got this experience level that can help in so many ways, and we're very appreciative of that. You also, I know, have a busy family life. Had a wonderful opportunity meeting your wife,
Yes.
Danny, and just delightful person who's a nurse, as I remember in her career. But what would you like to share about family or any personal
Okay,
things?
so my wife and I, we've been together for 21 years. We have 4 children. We have Kate, Kira, Jeffrey, and Alex.
Yeah.
Alex actually lives with us, and we have 2 grandchildren, Mackenzie and Morgan, that live with us. So we are busy.
Yeah.
You know, work and family life takes up most of my time, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Well, I remember you sharing with me, even as you retired from the veterans, that you said, I was taking some time just to stay home with some grandchildren, do something very different.
I did. Yeah. So when I retired from the VA, I decided to take a year off. And so I took a year off when Mackenzie was born, and she's just turned 2 in September. So I stayed home, took care of her, got to hang out with her during the day while the parents were out. And, then I was looking for an opportunity, and I saw the Chesapeake was the first place that I saw. And so I researched it, and I said, this looks like a really great place, and decided to put that application in, and I'm happy I did. I'm very fortunate to work here, I think.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I've marveled at, not just you, but your wife as well, pretty incredible work ethic. I mean, it's impressive enough with your military and the Veterans Affairs. It seems like you do a lot of helping other people and friends and some colleagues you've had around Williamsburg. So don't know if we're going to talk about that, but boy, you, between balancing work and family, somehow you're pulling it off.
It's a challenge, but I do enjoy a fast-paced work life. Anybody that sees me here, they know I'm on the halls all day. I do enjoy getting my administrative work done, but I really like being out and interacting with the staff, interacting with the residents, and just making the place as nice as we can make it for them.
Yeah. Well, when you share with me about some of the evening hours, what you were even doing, going from work to work, and even your wife, even after a day as a nurse, sometimes she's there helping you and helping others, whether it's a friend's restaurant or whatever it might be. You're quite an impressive work background.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So you've gotten accustomed a little bit to us in the last few weeks. It's been a fascinating, I'm sure, journey for you to see from that the service you did in public and what you did at VA to hear. What's some of your early observations of the Chesapeake? What do you identify that's a little unique here?
Well, the first thing that I noticed is that the air here is very clean. It's a very good attitude to come in to work every day. People have a good attitude, and people are always smiling, and the residents seem happy. And so I do like working at a place where we have a good team environment. It's nice. I love what you and the staff have done here as far as the presentation of the Chesapeake. It's beautiful. I remember the first time I came in here, I was very impressed. And I still am. And I look forward to the renovations and getting that up to speed. But my first impression here has been that it seems like family already. A lot of people I'm getting to know really well, and I really love it here.
Yeah. Well, we're grateful that you're here, and that's very important. I know residents will say this, and I'll say it as well, look forward to meeting family.
Yes, sir.
For your wife coming by, and we always try to how do we embrace everyone, and Christmas at the Chesapeake will be around the corner, so that will be a natural.
Grandkids want to come for trick-or-treating.
That's perfect. So next week, that will be part of it. Actually, this week, as this is being aired. So that will be a wonderful occurrence. Any other things that you do for fun? You've been so dedicated in your work, but any hobbies, interests, things that you like to do?
I do have a few. I enjoy fishing. I haven't got to do it as much lately as I'd like to. I'm going to try to get back out on the water. I also love practicing jiu-jitsu, but my passion is teaching 5- and 6-year-olds jiu-jitsu. That's something that's very fun for me. So I do that 2 to 3 times a month and teach 10 to 12 children. And so those are my 2 big hobbies. I've always been into jiu-jitsu. I've been into fishing. Those are things I enjoy on a regular basis, staying in shape. I love that we have the gym here. It's great. And so those are probably my main hobbies that I do.
Great. Well, those are some wonderful ones. My fishing, I keep on looking at this area and how many opportunities there are. And my wife and I, we got a kayak. We've gone out a few times on that and fished off of it. Did buy some newer, because I had a very, very old Zepco 202 reel. And and that was about it. But I very much just appreciate listening to people, and the fishing around here, they're enjoyable. Now, a lot of our team members they'll go down near the James River Bridge, and there's a pier there, and I've run into a couple of them down there, and just you never know where you see somebody. Doug, one of your coworkers,
Doug does fish. Yes.
he does, and he'll potentially be out on his kayak. So it's just a unique element of this area, but enjoy that.
That's a type of fishing I've never enjoyed.
Yeah.
I might have to try that one.
Yeah.
Kayak.
Yep, it's great. Well, JD, we certainly appreciate being part of our team. Good to get a snapshot of you and who you are, and look forward to meeting more of your family. And again, delight to meet your wife, Danny, and just wonderful. And I know the residents will enjoy meeting you, getting to know you, and thanks for your energy. Thanks for helping us to be better. A lot of work in that assisted living neighborhood. We'll be following that up with those renovations in healthcare and having your expertise, keeping that environment safe and progressing. It's going to be very valuable.
Well, I appreciate this. Thank you very much. It was
Good.
nice.
All righty. Well, you've now met another one of our impressive managers, J.D. Duggan. And J.D., so glad you're part of our team.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Until next time, have a good week.